Okay.
Yeah, you can hand it to me too.
Yeah, it's all typed out, it's the same as last year. So I'd like to make a motion to authorize the town treasurer, Jeanette Lemay, to pursue a tax anticipation note on behalf of the town through Kennebunk Savings Bank. Motion on the floor.
Second.
Second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
3-0.
Okay, see if I can get this all written.
Is that the
Oh,
line
okay.
of credit then?
Yes.
And how much will that be for? Do you have any
1
idea?
million.
$1 million.
Just typical business practice.
Here's the one we did a year ago.
No, I was just asking
Yeah.
because I didn't
No,
know.
I'm just saying that.
Doesn't mean we're
Use
using
that
it, it's just
that way.
establish, lets us establish it and put it in place.
Okay. And now, what does it take in order to, like, let's say, for example, we wanted to give the roads commissioner 28,000. What does it take to get 28,000 out of that account?
You can't do that.
You can't
It's
just.
illegal. No.
So what is that exactly used for then? If that's
used,
not what it's for.
a tax anticipation note, so it's a line of credit to borrow against when you run out of funds. You know, when you run down low or out of funds, basically, and it has to. You know, you repay it back as soon as you can. There's interest attached to it. It would ride you out until you started getting your taxes in. Which
So
would be about
you
20.
borrow against it to find budgeted things that are already budgeted by
Right.
town voters.
Right.
Okay. Oh, that's interesting.
Normal course of business, payroll, whatever. Yep.
I see.
We're still hoping we don't have to take it. We'll see. I'm working hard.
Yeah, we know you are. So, did you guys ever? I know that there had been some question on how you were going to deal with the 7,000 overage on that. Did you ever find out if how you were going to do that? Whether you were going to take that out of the what is it? The reserve fund you were talking about?
Yeah, we haven't discussed it. I don't know if you guys want to weigh in or what.
Not at this time, I don't think. If it comes up, we'll talk. Anybody else wants to bring it up?
Well, I just did.
Anybody else on the board wants to bring it up?
Did you just bring it up?
I'll bring it up if you want to talk about it. Yeah, I mean, because I got things to say. I didn't know if you guys wanted to add to it first or not, or whatnot. In years past, overages have always been paid by contingency, the contingency fund. However, thinking it through this weekend, I mean, Jeanette just left, which is too bad, but I think we got a problem. You can't do that. We can't vote as a board on a contingency fund that was available last fiscal year that expired July 1st. You know, and we definitely shouldn't. I'm not sure we can't, but probably can't as well. Take contingency from this year and cover last year's overages. So you can't use contingency. I don't believe you can. You know, if we had made the vote, you know, June 30th, if we knew we're over such and such, and you made that vote to take from contingency to cover the overage, you know, it probably would have flown. But right now, it won't fly. And the ultimate end of it, when you do your general ledger, okay, so your contingency, which what do we have in there? I think we had 68,000 left over, or somewhere around there, 65,000 left over. That will then get absorbed into your restricted fund balance, and then you're going to have a debt over here on highway side, you know, but you have a positive over here on the. So on the general ledger side, it will balance out. And honestly, I'd rather see the debt there. You know, if we went over on a budget, I'd rather see the debt there. And then let's analyze why we went over on that budget, you know, through the budget committee or whatever. Because sometimes, I'm not saying yes or no on this one, but sometimes it's a legitimate reason.
Right.
You know, maybe it was poor budgeting and there wasn't enough money. You know, so this will help identify that instead of covering it over and band-aiding a problem, which has happened in the past. So,
You seconded this motion, right, Paul?
yeah, you did.
Pardon me, but
I have no intention to do.
my attention has to be divided between the two things at the same time sometimes.
Absolutely.
So what you're saying the best thing at this time is probably just let it ride and let the budget committee
I say
handle
let it ride.
this?
If it's a debt, it's a debt.
But does that actually get paid, or does the town just let it sit there as we owe
They
it?
got paid, and it when you go over like that, they got paid because all your money's in a general checking account. People get very confused what's your general fund and it's in your general checking account. Think of it that way.
Okay.
And so yeah, there's money in there. All the money's in there except for trust and a few other things. So yeah, the bills got paid, but you went over budget.
Okay.
Okay. So what you've done is eroded away from your restricted fund balance by doing so. You know, really, you're eroding that away. However, on the other side of it, till she does the books, I don't know exactly where we ended up. On the other side of it, like contingency is a great one. We did not expend all of that, so whatever was left over goes to your restricted. So on that side of it, the restricted fund balance grew. Over
Right.
here, when you have debts, it eroded it away.
Okay.
So in the overall picture, you know, it's not good management. It's not good accountability to let it go that way to even get to the point where you're in debt. But it's gonna balance itself out. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? So money wise and financially wise, the town's still stable. As you know, it's just a management.
And the bills got paid.
And the bills got paid.
Okay.
And it's just a management issue.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I just put it back in front of you. I'll get it there.
Do you need it? Do you need it? No. I'm gonna get rid of it. It's last
No,
year.
I see it was last year's.
I did read this cable franchise agreement this weekend too, and it expires next December, 2016, not this year.
Okay. But is it now that we're talking about that, is it an automatic renewal, or is it a renewal that has to be addressed?
It doesn't say in here that it automatically renews. So no, it expires. I got my second right here. That's the first one.
Yeah, I know there was a fella in here last week asking about that.
Yeah,
we
I
didn't.
told
We had
him,
already
I said,
gone.
don't quote me on it because I may be wrong, but that's what I had been told. But no, it specifically says it ends on. I think it was the 16th of December, 2016. Of course, I can't find it right now, but.
Of course not. So who normally does the contract negotiations with Metrocast? Is that all done through the selectmen, or
Yeah.
could you, like, I know Corinna has been really actively checking that out. Could you appoint a committee to do those negotiations with Metrocast, or is that?
Probably could, but it'd still have to be accountable to the board, and the board would be the one that.
Well, yeah,
says.
of course,
So,
yeah.
How this was done before, I don't know. It was long before my time. It's 2006. My time in this office. I don't know.
Well, is it signed by a committee, or is it signed by past board members that
Board
you
members.
can see? Board members.
And even if there was, the committee wouldn't sign it anyway. That's what I was saying.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, they wouldn't sign it. Just be an advisory committee. I think it's easier probably to work with just the board and legal counsel on these things a lot of times. I mean, always welcome input from residents because everybody might see something a little different than somebody else, but
Maybe at the beginning,
Gets
if
more
it comes
complicated with more people,
2016, maybe at the beginning of the year, just put a little notice and say if there's something that you're interested in seeing on the cable contract,
Yeah.
Well, you don't have any control over them anyway.
Not
I mean, you can't,
It's either accept it or don't.
like Central Maine, once their poles are up, they own you. By the way, they're not going across the road, are they? I mean, on the other side that you know of, Central Maine.
What do you mean not going across the road?
They're cutting trees on the lower side of the power line.
Huh?
I mean, just a few here and there, they've been working out there.
Oh.
But there's nothing near it, and they're cutting trees.
Hmm.
It's their trees.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know anything about it.
Just on that cable contract, when you said you really can't control them, that a lot of the people over in Berwick recently actually got together, and they got a lot of services from Metrocast that we don't have available here in town, but they got them because they formed a committee and they went over the contract and they talked to Metrocast, because you do have the ability to say, hey, we'll go with Comcast next
they
year,
get?
or we'll go with, oh, they got they got a town channel, and they got
All in there.
so if it's all in there, why don't we have it?
Because they have to have a committee put together. They have to have a.
Who's
a
they? Metrocast?
We do as a town. We have to have a room that's designated to it. There's quite a long process here. Let's see.
See, now we learned something.
Yep.
That's what happens when you ask
I
questions.
went DirecTV.
Yeah, that's who I have to DirecTV. They're fantastic.
I bought it $70 a month when I.
Yeah. Yeah, I cut my bill in half.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. And the girl that just took over here in town for the contracts for DirecTV, that Valerie Starling, she's fantastic. If you ever have to call anybody and you have any kind of problem with DirecTV, you call that girl and she fixes it right up. You have DirecTV too? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I did get it
Just recently, or?
2 years ago.
Oh yeah, I've had mine just a little over a year. I would never change back.
No.
No
either.
way.